It's Mr. Allan again back on your screen. In continuation from where we stopped in the last video we watched the previous class, I was talking about variation or differences that exist between organisms of the same species, be it plants or animals in an environment. Quickly, in continuation, look at this pattern. I have these seashells. If you observe, they are made up of different color patterns, and the patterns don't look the same. Like this one has a striation, like a cylindrical striation, like linings on it. This one has a curved lining on it, as you can see. Simply put, they are organisms of the same species, but they are different in terms of their color, the pattern on their shells, and so on. Next is this picture. I know somebody will scream, wow! Yes, we have people that have such structures, people that are into weightlifting. They've been able to exercise themselves over time. So if you look at them, they've been able to respond to both the genetic factor that leads to variation and the environmental effect too. By genetic, like I said in the previous class, there are traits that are transmitted to young ones from their parents, and some people have the trait of being tall or gigantic, while some have traits of being short, or some have traits of being average or medium sized. And in terms of environmental factors, due to their exposure to daily weightlifting, they've been able to develop extra biceps and triceps or muscles, and you can see how they look. So you can differentiate between this man, and this man. They all look different. So that takes us to the continuation on the topic variation, and today the word is we're learning to distinguish between the types of variation. What I'm looking for at the end of this lesson is to distinguish between the types of variation. So quickly, there are two types of variation in science. We have what we call the continuous and discontinuous variation. Can we get that together? Continuous variation and discontinuous variation amongst population. So this leads me to the next slide, which is a schematic diagram showing the difference between these two variations. Now we have variation, which is divided into continuous variation and discontinuous variation. Now for continuous variation, it simply refers to those differences you can spot among organisms of the same species within a population. There are different characteristics you can see that exist between the same family. They will be different in their height, in their body size, their mass, how weighty they are, or even in terms of intelligence. It's called that somebody is more intelligent than the other, or even among a family, one person seems to be more intelligent than the other. So intelligence, mass, body height, and other features of this sort are what we call continuous variation, because you can find them in the progression in a particular family. There's no distinct or there's no uniqueness in terms of continuous variation. But leading to the other type of variation called discontinuous variation, it is a kind of variation that exists among species that makes a particular species or organism unique in its feature. And what are those features? We have the blood group. The blood group has to do with different blood group A, blood group B, blood group AB, and blood group O, which differentiates us from each other. And we have what we call the tongue rolling. Some people don't have the ability to roll their tongue like this. Some find it difficult to do that. So it's a unique feature that is among some people. And the earlobe. Some people have a very large earlobe, some have a small earlobe, some have a narrow earlobe, some have a broad earlobe. So it's specific for people in a particular population. So we call such variation discontinuous variation. So I'll quickly take you through some slides to show you pictures of these things I just emphasized. For continuous variation, coat color, height, eye color, and so on, there are continuous variation. There are differences you can find within a species that differentiate them from each other. And discontinuous variation is that variation that makes you stand out or unique in your own way. And I want to quickly talk about the importance or life application of variation. And I'll be focusing more on the discontinuous variation that has to do with the unique difference that exists between individuals in a given population. Now, talking about the blood group, everyone has a unique blood group. It could be blood group A, B, AB, or O, and cannot share your blood group with another. So you might have people that have the same blood group with you, but everyone has his or her own blood group. So that's a unique feature in the environment. Then I talked about the tongue rolling aspect the other time, why some people have the ability to roll their tongue like this in this slide, as you can see. Some people can do this conveniently without stress or seamlessly, while some people will struggle all through and cannot roll their tongue in this manner. So it's a discontinuous type of variation. So I'll take you back to the slide that talks about variation also. I talked about the earlobe in the last class. The earlobe can be broad or narrow in some cases. So it depends on how the size or shape of your earlobe is. It's a unique feature. Then one of the life application of this aspect of discontinuous variation is in the aspect of fingerprints. Fingerprints also an example of discontinuous variation. Now, no two individuals across the globe or in the entire world has the same fingerprint. We are unique with our different fingerprints. So with fingerprints, a lot of privacy is ensured. There's ability to detect crime because it's used for crime detection. In a case where miscreants leave their fingerprints in a crime scene, a forensic specialist or scientist can take those fingerprints and run a forensic test to determine the individual that actually possess that fingerprint and leads to their arrest. Then also in terms of DNA, we have different DNA coding for each individual. That's why in the case of rape or paternity or maternity disagreement, a DNA test can be conducted to determine the exact father of such a child in the case of disagreement or argument. And in that case, we're able to trace the parents, because in most cases, some parents or fathers tend to deny their babies. So with this continuous variation known as the DNA test, we are able to get the exact paternity of a child and so many other important features. Thank you for watching. You can click like and a lot of thumbs up to encourage more of this video. Thank you.